Greetings, geeks and nerds, and ladies, universe, and I'm White and Nerdy, and this one was on the YouTube subscriber poll. Since it's time for a YouTuber subscriber poll, back to the YouTube subscriber poll time again. I'm sorry I keep saying it, YouTuber subscriber poll. Time once again. And this one I wanted to save until October, but then I decided, you know what, screw it, and I'm still trying to figure out my whole entire Lazy Wing schedule come October. And anyways, but this one is not only nostalgic to me, but nostalgic to a lot of you guys, and it's pretty obvious to see why, you know. And this was probably a lot of people's first adventures into the world of horror and everything, but done in a very unique way, kind of similar to Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? And this series is phenomenal for introducing people into the realm of horror as we all know it.
This program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Did I just get interrupted by a nostalgic cartoon show? YouTube is weird, brother. Like, you think that you've seen everything and you know everything in the world of YouTube. Surprise, surprise. No, we don't. But yes, I am talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog Season 1, as it is a wonderful refresher to actually go back into the world of Courage and basically see where my love, kind of horror first started. I had a fallen out with horror for a short time, especially since I remember that I used to love the way how Courage would combine comedy with horror so well, and that the writer and director of the series, John R. Diggle, does an amazing job at combining both of these aspects so well together. And this was my first introduction into horror, which I'm pretty sure for a lot of you at home that this was your very first introduction. And in case of some people are wondering, can I show this to my child? Sure. There are no really terrifying or really horrific styled episodes. It's done very PG, so I think that you can, show this to your kid without them being traumatized or anything. At least just try. That's the best thing that you can do. And if you're wondering if you have to start with episode 1 and work your way down, not at all. You can jump into Courage the Cowardly Dog at any given episode and just watch it for the fun of it. You can really dig in to it with any episode. It kind of feels like John R. Diggle was inspired by Goosebumps, Tales from the Crypt, and even the Twilight Zone, because every time that the ending happened, the next episode the characters just are like Men in Black mind wiped. They don't remember a damn thing about what's happened. They just sit right there and go, "Yeah, that happened." Well, anyway, there's enough of this going on. But like I said, I did have a falling out with horror for a while before it got picked back up, thanks to John Carpenter's The Thing, and the rest is back in my cat collection, and the rest is in history. As such, why don't we go into nowhere and see the troubled and strange, creepy things that happening in nowhere? Let's dive back into nostalgia with Courage, the Cowardly Dog. So Courage is just a parody of all things horror. It really does give you that vibe of, hey, this is a horror parody, but yet this is a horror parody made for kids. And while some episodes do tackle some pretty dark subject matter, it's all kept PG for the children, because the children is what Dilworth is mostly caring about. And when I say that Dilworth mostly was inspired by the realm of horror and made it PG, I sincerely mean that he picked some horror films and made them PG for Courage. As I believe that John R. Dilworth is the perfect choice to creating Courage, as he does a great job at balancing it out well between the realms of comedy and horror without going too overboard on the horror. Dilworth was terrific at picking episodes and picking what kind of spooky and terrifying things would be in each episode, and does a great job at balancing it all out truthfully. And I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but it's actually true. Dilworth is terrific at selecting horror films from past and kind of figuring out a very unique and fun way of being like, okay, this is a film that I wouldn't show my kids, But how can I shrink this down into a 20-minute episode and make it fun for children? And surprisingly enough, Dilworth is great at figuring out how just to balance this all out, as this is great. But also, what's also great about this, also, is that Dilworth only uses three characters: Eustace and Muriel, Bag, who live on Bag Farm in the middle of nowhere, but also Courage. But more on Courage and the Bag family a little bit. But in case you're wondering how Dilworth manages to balance it out in between like the realm of horror and also, this unique thing, it's for one, just watch the series itself because you can count on how many times that Dilworth has actually handpicked a unique horror film from the past and brought it into a new form that basically, yeah, kids can get into, but probably adults that are basically into the realm of horror themselves. Dilworth did a great job at balancing this all out. And surprisingly enough, and I'm pretty sure that some people might have noticed, is that yes, the first episode, A Night at Cat's Motel, is a direct reference to Bates Motel, aka Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which is credited as one of the greatest horror movies ever made. The Demon in the Mattress episode is a direct reference and parody of The Exorcist. It seems like Dilworth could really have pulled off anything, and I'm pretty sure that if Courage was still going on to today, you would probably, I don't know, because I haven't seen Courage in fucking years by this point, but I kind of question if, like, there is, like, Freddy, like Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, and if, like, even with the new horror movies nowadays, I think that Dilworth could find a great way of balancing this out because I think it'd be kind of funny to see how Dilworth would put Megan into the Courage universe. I think that would be pretty funny. Same with Abigail, just have this niece of like Eustace or Muriel just move right in and suddenly out of fucking nowhere she's a ballerina vampire. I'm just saying it would be kind of wonderful and unique to see, you know. But what's also great is that there's a unique flavor, and sometimes there are episodes where there is no horror variety. Like nothing of the horror really happens. Like there's an episode where Eustace goes to visit his mother because moms. And if people out there are like, well, my mother is terrifying, it's like, well, I don't see how moms is a terrifying concept unless you pissed your mother off. Then that's all I knew. There's even an episode where Courage had to take on a duckling. Makes perfect sense to me too. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Like you're gonna go through every episode and pull comparison to horror films. Problem is with that is that it would probably take too long, and I don't own every single horror film. But now that I mention that, let's do that for fun, and let's see how the comparisons of Courage to the movie it was probably based on kind of compares and contrasts in quality. So begin the montage.
Welcome to the Cat's Motel. I'm Cats. Will you please sign in?
Oh, I thought I'd gotten off the main road.
I know you must have. Nobody ever stops here anymore unless they've done that. But
And that's about all the comparisons that I can make because I only own an eccentric horror movie collection. But would I still recommend Courage the Cowardly Dog to fans out there? Yes, It's a great series. It's a great series that even for gorehounds that want something new, but nothing that really is like all of the terrifying and whatnot, it still is great. It reminds me a lot of Court Bride and also Coraline, which maybe this is where they drew inspiration from. Is that HPG horror, it sometimes can go along the path of something terrifying, but doesn't forget what it is. It's a children's friendly kind of film. It's dark in some territories, yes, and it is one of the greatest things ever made. Eustace, Muriel, and Courage are the three main characters, with mostly Courage being our main character. With his dialogue, which mostly consists of rambling and him somehow metamorphosing into whatever that he's trying to display, is also something of great talent to do. And that the voice cast in this was terrifically handpicked and chosen to voice these characters, and it is still a wonderful series worth checking out. And what's great with Zilla doing it is that with only three main characters, you don't have to balance a lot of characteristics except for just focusing on the main three, which I think is really damn great. Eustace is always the miserable old bastard who cares about nothing, who doesn't even care about his wife. He cares about nothing except for greed, money, and anything else that you can throw a stick at. While Muriel is his counterpart, she's more sweet, down to earth, and cares about everybody that she comes to know, including Courage. And Courage, of course, while his name states that he is supposed to be a courageous dog, he's a lot more terrified than heroic. But that makes them so great is that the counterbalance between all three of them is a terrific change of events and is one of the greatest, you know, children horror series that you could ever check out. And even if you're going to watch it for yourself or for your kids, I recommend that you do so. As Courage is unique, refreshing, a breath of fresh air on television, and even still nowadays, really holds up as a terrific children's horror series. The creative balance between comedy, horror, and being for children is what makes Courage all the more accessible and all the more appreciated by all horror fans out there. So whether you're a fan of horror or you're not a fan of horror, I recommend giving Courage the Cowardly Dog a shot because you might actually fall in love with it and like it a lot more than you were expecting.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage the Cowardly Dog Show!
Thank you so much for watching, guys and girls. I've been Great Universe. I've been waiting you to keep eking on. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. We're doing in the description down below. And tell me what, if you're a fan of Courage the Cowardly Dog, at some point, maybe if I get like more seasons, I'll do like a top 10 favorite episodes, but I only have a few from season 1. Everyone Wants a Duet, Freaky Fred, The Demon in the Mattress, The Hunchback of Nowhere, King Ramesses Curse. So I don't exactly have like 10 favorite episodes from season 1, but maybe if I go back and watch it a few times, maybe I might get like something for variety out of it. But if you haven't checked out Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm hoping that I have entranced you to try it and everything. And in case you're wondering how to join the YouTube subscriber poll, it's simple. Click the subscribe down there. Just wait until I do one. I do one once a month. And then you are able to join. And it costs nothing to join. And you just vote for whatever that your favorite is, and just hope that, and whether it wins or loses, it does end up becoming a video. If not the month where you vote, it will be the next month. So I've been pretty good at keeping up with that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, check out Courage if you can, because if you like Scooby-Doo or you like Goosebumps, definitely John R. Dilworth's Courage the Cowardly Dog is definitely right up your alley. Now it's time for me to talk about one final thing that was on the poll vote that nobody voted for, and that makes me sad. So, we're going back into the comic book realm to talk about one of my favorite superheroines, who no one voted for. Not even one. Which makes me sad. But until next time, I believe the universe, have a waiting to keep eking on. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this Universe review. And until next time, and as always, take care.